Welcome to LATC Winter 2015. These are called real-time videos. There's no editing, and basically they're just based on presentations done during class. This is our final project where we're actually going to be doing personal projects for economic development and workforce development and urban planning for a specific area. So we're going to start with one simple concept. We're going to start dividing our information by group layers, right? Kind of like parent-child relationship, and kind of understanding that at a very macro level, we're going to add 3-4 types of group layers. The first one is going to be economy. And basically under economy, you're going to have all your businesses, of your labor indicators, or your industry clusters, and all your food locations, all your hospitals. You're going to have all your demographics. The next one we're going to have here is going to be education. And education is very important because it's a place where people can create, produce, and develop skills. And their education, you will have educational providers, educational indicators, and so on. The third one will be ecology. And what are the layers that you will have under ecology? Basically what Plato said, right? Water, air, energy or fire, and then soil, recyclable, and anything that has to do with materials coming from soil, from the planet Earth. And then the fourth one will be what? Economy, education. What will be our fourth one? Environment. And then under environment is all the regulating lines, all the infrastructures that humans have evolved to survive and live with the ecological environment, like regulating lines, zip codes, track lines, every infrastructure, bridges, and buildings. So under each of these, right now, the first one we're going to do is going to be the environment. So we create another subgroup layer, and we're going to call this one regulating lines. And what are some examples of regulating lines? Zip codes, track codes, neighborhood councils. And then under regulating lines, the first one we're going to have, then we'll go here. We're going to have a new group layer, and we're going to call these zip codes. So what are we going to do here? So there's two things here. You're going to go here under the search right here, and notice here it depends how you are enrolled. This is kind of interesting because look at here under file, and it depends. You only have 30 days and you have 200 credits. After 30 days you're not going to have credits and you're going to run out. Right here I created a different sign in because I ran out of credits with my other username. And then right here you're going to put Los Angeles zip code. And then you're going to look at all the options. And then you search it. Oh, look at this. This actually is not looking. Look at it. This is Los Angeles Community College District. So I actually, because I register as the Los Angeles Community Colleges, it's not letting me look at ArcGIS Online. So what I need to do here, I need to sign out. Okay, see, now I signed out. And then notice here, now ArcGIS Online came in. So that's just so you know, depending how you sign in, it gives you options. And this is kind of cool because if we had a server, you will be able to look onto your, like ideally, you know how we're having problems right now by you saving your stuff in Google Docs? If we had a server, I will point to you and then we will have all the data there. So that's the right way to do it. So here you're going to have I know that this one actually has the best zip codes. But you don't want to click on the map because this is what is only called a static map. You want to click actually on the heading. And then under the heading, notice that what is going to happen is going to tell me, do you want to save the existing map? You click on it, and it's going to open a brand new map. It should. So I don't know why it's not working. No, you just click on any of these and then it will open that layer. But it's not opening it. Any suggestions here? Say that again? Oh. It might be just, oh, maybe I wasn't patient enough. So see here, this is only a skeleton. There's no data. So do we want to save it? Yes, I want to save it, and I want to call this an example of example map. Because later on I'm going to open it, I'm going to bring the data. So now I can close this because you want to have as much screen as possible. You're going to close that. And you don't need the base map. The base map has all the information about cities. You don't need the polygon fill in. You only need the outline. So you can do two things here. Notice what I'm going to do. This is the outlet, and this is the outline of the zip codes. You can also label it, but you can also, usually if the data is not protected, you are able to export the data. But we already know that it won't allow you to do this. This data, for some reason, you export it. Then here it says, do you want to add? Oh, now it did let you. Okay, so it must have been previously when I tried to do this. It depends how I am logging into it. So let's see if it works. Yeah, so now it did. So now I exported the data. Now this is actually a shape data. So this is actually really good, but we don't really know. So we should do it again, because when we go export data, not export to CAD, export data, you want to have it, export data. You notice right here, this is what is the most crucial part. This is called your directory path. Notice where it's saving it, right? So here you want to save it in the directory where you're actually going to be putting all your data, right? So you can make a new folder, right? GIS Winter. So let's just put it right there. Export data. And then we're going to call it zip code from ArcGIS Online. It's good to put the resource. An error occurred. So that's another thing. It doesn't like it. Oh, I know what it is. GIS likes you to be, notice here you're going into the C drive. When we were exporting the data before, where is it going? It's going as a user, right? So GIS is very particular where does it save the data. And when I save it as a user, right, it's not going into my C drive. Basically, the C drive is protected. And they don't want you to be saving things. So let's see if that works. If I say, okay, yeah, we already know it does work. So what we can do, now that we have it there, we can open the other map that we were working on, the example, save changes. Yes, let's save it. And now we can bring that data from the previous map. And this is just, that's why there's so many jobs, just manipulating data. So we're going to go add, and then where are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at, now here is the problem. For you to connect to a data in GIS, you actually, notice here it only gives me certain folders. So you got to first connect to that folder. So you connect to that folder, and it's going to be under Oliva, remember? And it's going to be under my document. So I should have written down that address, and it's going to be under my maps. I don't remember. I think it's going to be under ArcGIS. I'm not sure. So that was a mistake. I should have written down. So I'm going to go cancel, cancel, open the other map because I wasn't patient enough. And I'm going to go here under the zip code and then write down the directory path. So when I go to my other folder, I know where it is. So that's kind of what now that's one way that can be a little bit too clumsy. But remember, I want you to do 3 maps. So the very first one is that I want you to choose 3 maps. So you can go through all these exercises of bringing this layer, this shapefile, into the other shapefile by writing down where you're actually exporting your data, right? And I should have written that document ArcGIS default because that's where my data is. Or to make it simple, more accessible, and less frustrating to all of these, another thing that you can do here, you can right-click, open attribute table, and actually choose the zip codes that you're going to be working on. I'm going to choose these 4 zip codes. And notice that when you move your attribute data, those zip codes are highlighted, right? Do you see it? So once they are highlighted, then I'm going to close this one. And this is the operation I want you to learn. You can do 2 things. You can do a print screen, and that counts for 1 map, right? Print screen of that one. And what did you do? You identify the zip codes of your study, all right? Map number 2, you're going to go right click and then you're going to say create layer from selected features. So notice what happened right now. You turn off the other zip codes and you have just regenerated 1 shapefile with your own zip codes. That is map number 2. You already made 2 maps out of the 10 maps. All right? And I'm going to do 1 like this every day. And basically you do print screen and you identify the 2 zip codes for your area. You do 1 inside all the zip codes, and then you do 1 where you actually created a separate one. So ideally here, when you save this one and you export it, let me see if this works. If you copy this one, see, this is kind of when you're pushing the envelope, and then you open your example map, save changes, yes. I don't know, technically you can also open our catalog and you should be able to drag and drop that in here. So technically here, I don't know if it's gonna work. We're gonna paste the layer. It worked. So I literally went to the other one, copy and pasted onto the new one. Because these are all the zip codes I identified. So it's 2 things. I think yesterday what was a little bit confusing. One thing is to be generating your layer maps, and another thing is to creating your taxonomy. So, and this is basically what we have done so far. All right? Questions?
Yeah, you say you have the option of plus and balance forming, or as you say, making a layer.
Exactly. Thank you, Rose.